So we're looking at Psalm 8 that we read earlier. But of course today we're celebrating the Palm Sunday, the Lord's triumphal entry. And we see a range of responses to Jesus' entry as we listen to that story. And the contrast in particular is made between the welcome of the children and the response of the chief priests and the scribes. But for us, what's really going on here? What is really happening in this story that we can take and understand and apply to our own lives? I've spoken before about the way that I know a number of Christians who point so easily and readily to the hostility of many people in the world to Christianity. It's easy for us to get caught up in the personal figure of Jesus and external concerns about whether people do or do not accept Jesus and their attitudes to them in the world around us today. It's so easy for us to end up pitting our religion, our ideology against the ideology of others, or believing that that's what they are doing to us. The thing is, that's an external concern. That's a concern about the situation and circumstances I find myself in. And what it does is, when we have this attitude, it pits us one against the other. It pits people against each other. And what we start to do when we have this external concern, and we've seen it within the history of the church over thousands of years, is we start measuring ourselves against other people. We start thinking about, the way I do things is the right way to do things. The way he or she does something is not the right way to do things. We start thinking about the details of my particular dogma or doctrine that I adhere to and the details that you adhere to. We start thinking about, I belong to the right group, you belong to the wrong group. This is what this external attitude to religion does. And also it distracts us from the real work. Because if we subscribe to Christianity, it is a call to something. It's not just a membership card, it's actually a call to something. It's something that we need to implement in our own lives. And what I want you to notice about the triumphal entry is that those who opposed him most vehemently were those who subscribed to an external religion, an external focus. What we need to do is remember who Jesus was. And if we read through the Gospels and we understand the Gospels internally, what we learn is that the Lord is the Word. Think about the beginning of John's Gospel states it most clearly. The Lord is the Word. He is divine truth. And the way Jesus was welcomed on that day and the way he was treated in the week that followed was as divine truth. And it is divine truth coming to us and shining a light on our reality. How comfortable are you with that? How comfortable are you with a light being shone on your life? Now, I just want to mention one thing about Psalm 8, and it's in this verse here. What is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you visit him? Now, this word visit, if you look at a New King James Version, you'll find a footnote on that word. And the footnote says to give attention or to care for. But the word visit has a broader connotation. And so I just want to read from the lexicon what this word actually means. And this is what it says. So this Hebrew verb is a versatile term that encompasses a range of meanings depending on the context. It can mean to visit or attend to someone, often with the implication of care or oversight. It can mean to muster or to count. So it talks about taking a census or assembling a group of troops. It can also imply appointing someone to a position or a role. So appointing a king, for example, or appointing a president or appointing a committee. This is the same word. And it can mean to punish or bring judgment upon someone. And the context of the passage typically clarifies the specific nuance intended. So did you get that? Punishment or judgment being brought. And so when I think about that, I think of some of the parables that Jesus taught. You think about the parable of the talents or the parable of the miners, the servants who are given a portion of money and told to look after it. And then the master goes away and then he comes back and asks them to give account for what they have done. There's the parable of the unjust steward who is asked to give account. And there's the parable of the wicked vine dressers who are similarly asked to give account. And so I read all of that into that word, visit, that we read in Psalm 8. So Jesus, as he enters the city, is visiting. It's surely not his first visit to Jerusalem, but probably his most significant. And the visit is to bring judgment. And I think we see the beginnings of that judgment in this story. So it's said that the children, the infants, welcome him joyfully. And we too might welcome the Lord joyfully in the same way. But then there's those superficially religious people as well who deny and reject him. You know, it's those people who are happy with the status quo as it is. And when we're in that external religious focus, we are happy with the status quo. We like the fact that we appear to be good, but the reality is that the internals are not good. There's challenge there. There's things that need to change. And that's uncomfortable to have that exposed. But then another reaction that we might have also to that truth coming into our lives is to see our lives for what they are and to be humbled by that truth. Now, one of the particular insights the New Church brings to the Bible is this, that we take a story and we recognise that each element of the story is present within all of our lives. So, the Lord coming into the city is present in our life as the divine truth, a divine awakening to some reality. That's present in our life. The children, the innocence, the charity is present in our life. That welcomes the Lord. But there are also the superficially religious, the leaders, the teachers of the law, those who are happy with the status quo, who find the truth uncomfortable. So all of those aspects are present in each of our lives. So rather than feeling smug because we belong to the children who welcome the Lord, it's useful for us to just reflect on the idea that, yes, there's an aspect of me that welcomes the Lord. There's an aspect of me that celebrates innocence and charity. But there's another aspect that is less comfortable with having that light shone upon it. So this is something that we can usefully reflect on, I think, over the next course of the next week, is to what extent do we welcome the Lord? To what extent do we find that truth, that reality, uncomfortable and difficult to bear? Because what I'd suggest is, if we are able to meet the light, if we are able to look at what is present in our lives and recognize it for what it truly is, that experience is transformative. Yes, it might be uncomfortable, but it can lead us to a brighter and a better future. And I think this is what is going on in the course of this week, this last week of Jesus' life. There's the transformation that is being brought about because we welcome the light. We don't always find it comfortable, but we heed it, we notice what it tells us, and we do something about it.